You know this exact moment. It usually happens in the kitchen or over a text message late at night. You finally find the courage to say, "That hurt me," expecting empathy. Instead, you are met with a cold cross-examination. You walk into these conversations assuming you are navigating a standard conflict between two partners, but you are caught in what clinical experts term an asymmetrical conflict. You are playing a game of emotional connection. They are playing a game of absolute control. Your instinct is to try and solve this tension with more explanation, more logic, and more love. You think you are bringing clarity. To them, your empathy is fuel. To stop the cycle, you need to transition from improvising your emotional reactions to deploying a rigid, pre-planned defense protocol. Surviving this dynamic requires you to completely abandon traditional rules of communication. You must replace them with a clinical behavioral strategy. Step 1 is deploying compassionate detachment. This tactic actively separates your identity from their behavior. Stop asking why they are doing this to you. Instead, ask yourself what it must feel like to be trapped inside a mind that requires this much control just to function. If you are highly empathetic, be careful. This observation is not an invitation to save them. Empathy cannot rewire broken behavioral circuitry. You cannot fix a hardware problem with your love. When you are around them, visualize a thick glass wall between you. You can see them and you can hear them, but their emotional attacks hit the glass and slide down. They cannot penetrate your system. Establishing this cognitive wall protects your emotional energy. It forces you to look at the person realistically, observing their mechanics instead of idealizing who they could be. Now we address their behavioral economy. Toxic personalities run entirely on supply. Your anger, your tears, and your long text messages provide the exact chemical reward they are seeking. To cut off this supply, we use the gray rock method. You must become as boring and unrewarding to interact with as a rock. You strip out all emotional reactions, offering them nothing to latch onto. When you stop rewarding behavior, you face a psychological trap, the Extinction Burst. Think of a vending machine. If no soda comes out, you shake the machine. When you go gray rock, they escalate. Hold the line. Reacting teaches them to shake you harder. Enduring the short-term chaos of the Extinction Burst is the absolute prerequisite to permanently cutting off their power source. Gray rock is highly effective, but it fails in environments requiring ongoing logistics, like co-parenting or a shared workplace. For these situations, use yellow rock. This modifies the strategy by adding a layer of polite, professional camouflage over your total emotional disengagement. To do this correctly, you must eliminate the primary communication trap empathetic people fall into: jade. Do not justify, do not argue, do not defend, or ever explain. In an asymmetrical conflict, providing context or defending your intentions does not create clarity. It only hands your opponent fresh ammunition to attack. We replace this with a firewall called the BIF protocol. This requires every response to be brief, informative, friendly, and firm. This protocol serves a strict dual purpose. It gives the high-conflict person zero emotional hooks to grab onto, while generating a perfect reasonable paper trail for judges, HR departments, or outside authorities. By standardizing all your communication through this rigid firewall, you strip your opponent of their ability to twist your words and control the narrative. High-conflict personalities maintain dominance through gaslighting. They will systematically rewrite history until you begin to doubt your own sanity. To protect your mind, you need an external anchor. You must become a ruthless documentarian of every interaction. This cannot be a diary of your feelings. It must be a sterile log. Record the date, the time, and the exact quotes spoken. Strip away all personal emotion. When they inevitably challenge your reality and claim a conversation never happened, do not search your memory. You defer strictly to the physical log. Externalizing your memory into a factual ledger completely neutralizes their ability to induce self-doubt and psychological chaos. Utilizing these pre-planned prompts removes the burden of improvisation during an attack. You are programming your brain to handle high-conflict tactics before they happen. While logic handles overt conflict, you need a final failsafe for more subtle manipulations. We call this somatic validation. High-conflict people mask their need for control behind sweet words. Your ears hear affection, but your body detects predatory intent. Trust the body. When you feel a tight chest, a turning stomach, or sudden exhaustion, despite their polite tone, your nervous system is identifying a threat that your logic hasn't processed yet. The goal of this protocol is the total reclamation of the mental territory you've lost. By enforcing these systemic boundaries, you end the game and secure your freedom.